Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Brakatah, Bashem, Karkadash, for his truth, knowledge, and wisdom. We give double honors to our apostle elders, which apostle elders at Great Millstone, and to you hopeful elect out there pushing, fighting, enduring to the very end, man. As soon as you try to get on something, man, it's a lot, y'all can. But now I just wanted to go through a quick update, man. I was going through some news stories and looking at this situation with the plague, and just going through the scriptures and looking, man, Yahweh Shem Yahshua is putting plagues on this planet Earth. So just like the title says, plagues are signs of our salvation. Okay. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahshua is showing us, just like in the time of Egypt, in the time of Moses, the Lord was showing. Okay. Salakia. Let me get this pulled up. So these signs, right before what happened, right before we left out of Egypt, was the Lord put plagues upon Egypt. He smited Egypt with plagues, and the last plague, which was the plague of the firstborn, that was after that we were out of there, man. So these plagues are signs unto us about what? The coming of our salvation, because plagues are hand in hand with the Lord smiting a place. The Lord will let a place flourish to fulfill prophecy, and then to punish us. And then when that time that rulership is set to be taken out, the Most High plagues them, sets up prophets that prophesy the downfall of that place. What was Moses doing? Moses and Aaron was prophesying, man. They were prophesying and they were putting curses on Egypt by way of the power and the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. So they were prophesying and telling Egypt, look, let our people go. Telling Pharaoh, let our people go, or the Lord is going to smite you, man. The Lord is going to destroy you. So that was Moses and Aaron prophesying in Egypt. Okay, just like you have now today, you have Egypt, you have prophets coming back, and we're prophesying against kingdom. What does it say in the book? It says that the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against great kingdom of plagues, pestilence. Let's pull that real quick. I'm gonna share the screen real quick. I ain't gotta. We'll get to seeing the screen. I'm gonna let share. Okay, there we go. All right, Akim. So, let's see here. It's Jeremiah. Yep, 28 and 8. This is the book of Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. And it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war, of evil, and of pestilence. What's another name of pestilence? It's plague, disease. Okay? So the same way that the prophets prior to us prophesied against what? War, evil, and pestilence is what we're saying today. That's the Most High's kingdom takers, man. Once you have those wars, that's your landmass. Then you have evils, that's the interior of the nation being broken down, and pestilence, which start killing off the population and weakening the population. So these are ways of war, man. So through Moses and Aaron, the Lord declared war on Egypt, man. So now in the modern day, the Most High is telling us through His Spirit, is saying that He's declaring war on Babylon, on America, man. The Most High is declaring a spiritual and physical war on this place, because Yahushua is going to come down and actually fight with the rulers of the world today. Namely is the Edomites, Amalek being the chief tribe, and then these other nations that are co-signing with Esau's rulership. They're going to try to fight the Lord. So now we're in the spiritual. That's why it says we're doing the spiritual side of it now. Then Yahushua is going to do the physical side of it with the angels, and then also the missiles. So these are declarations of war from Yahweh Shem Yahushua that's coming down on the planet Earth, man. Okay, these plagues, these diseases, all these things are declarations of war. Okay, this is the article I'm going to. I just googled different things about the plague. Excuse me, different things about the plague and what things are taking place with that. This is bubonic plague strikes in Mongolia. Why is it still a threat? Why is it still a threat? Because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is making it a threat. Okay, the plague went underground for a while, and then now it's resurfacing because it's time for this place to go down, man. Okay, just like in the time of the Dark Ages, the plague came around to take Jake out of power. That was to ruin that rulership. So now the plague is coming again to do what? To take this place out of power, man, because there's going to be a rulership change on the planet Earth. I'm just going to read a little bit. I'm sure brothers have jumped into this article. It says the medieval plagues known as the Black Death is making headlines this month. In Mongolia, a couple died from bubonic plague on May the 1st after reportedly hunting marmot, large rodents that can harbor the bacterium that causes the disease, and eating the animal's raw meat and kidneys, which some Mongolians believe are good for their health. This is the same illness that killed an estimated 50 million people across the continent in the 1300s. So that's showing you that, look, man, this thing is coming back full effect because, look, the dietary, the way, there's certain things that you do in this life. That's why the Lord gave us the law, okay? The law of cooking your meat and don't eat the blood and don't eat the raw, pretty much. That's not just for it's for our benefit. It's not, the Lord didn't say that to just say it. It's a meaning, because behind that, you can contract diseases and certain things that aren't good for the body, man. That's why everything, the Most High set up this world in order. Everything has its way of moving around to make everything run smoothly. Okay, so now when he says cook meat and eating certain meat, there's certain animals that if you follow the dietary law and you cook it right, then you won't have to worry about these certain things. Okay, I mean, you can have bad meat and diseased animals, but if you cook it if you cook it and then you follow the laws to the best of the ability and have that spirit on you, okay, and the blessings on the nation, then you don't have to worry. That's why we follow the laws, statutes, and commandments that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has put in front of us, man. But these other nations, they don't follow that. They eat raw meat, raw rodent meat. First of all, you eat rodent, then you eating raw rodent. So you getting what you get because you fell into that, man. But also that the Lord is bringing these things back for what? To bring the downfall of this society. And this is a marmot right here. All right, this is a picture of a marmot. All right, or normat. Okay, it's a straight rat, man. It's a big ass rat. That's all it is. You know, it's a big rat. Okay, so like, and it says a Mongolian couple ate a rodent's entrails raw and later died from the contracting the plague. That's all we got to read on that, man. They ate it raw, and this was posted a day ago, or actually, it was posted today. They went into a different. It says for the days, the dusty road of a small town in Mongolia, westernmost province, were largely deserted. After the quarantine, we announced not many people, even locals, were in the streets for the fear of catching the disease. See, so that's why I said the fear is going to be out here, man. These plagues bring fear. That's why when it hits United States, it hits highly dense populations, it's going to do a lot of damage, man. That's going to put a fear out here. All right. And it says, we're in the streets for fear of catching the disease. Sebastian Pack, an American Peace Corps volunteer who has lived in the remote mountainous region for 2 years, told the agency France Press. The illness that sparked a widespread alarm among the town's roughly 1,400 residents and visitors and left them isolated for 6 days. The plague, the town of Tara Nauru, located near the border between Mongolia and Russia, was recently sealed off following the death of a local couple who contracted the plague. So they sealed the whole town off, man. They sealed the whole town off. That's why you ain't gonna be able to go to this place. That place is gonna be sealed off, man. It's like you're reading the Apocrypha. Okay, so all these things are leading up to the quarantine, and then you're gonna have that mark come into play. So everything is set up. You see how they can literally take away rights. They didn't care. Oh, I paid taxes. You're a possible a plague victim. So you quarantine, man. You have no choice. Your rights are out the window. All right. And it says Russia recently sealed off from the following death of the local couple who contracted the plague from the east. Plague from eating raw meat and organs of an infected marmot. Archa Apraru Reeve with the World Health Organization in Urabat told the Washington Post some Mongolians believe eating the rodents uncooked inward to be very good for health. Aprave said the husband and wife reportedly ate the kidney, gallbladder, and stomach of the creature, a type of large squirrel found in the region. So that's what they get, man. You know, they put themselves in that position to contract that disease, and they caught it for it, man. Okay, they caught death for it. Let me see. And there's more diseases that are spreading. This is just an article. It says 6 in 10 infectious diseases come from animals, and the CDC is most worried about these 8. All right, and you can read this article just going about the diseases that come from animals, and then this is a follow-up article with that one. Excuse me. This is from the conversation. It says how humans interacting with the changing environment is affecting the spread of infectious disease. Some of the world's most notorious infections, including Lambert disease, rabies, and Ebola, come from zoonotic diseases, which goes into animals. These illnesses are caused by pathogens, bacteria, virus, or other parasite organisms, which can be passed from animals to humans. So that's how the Most High is using the very animals to spread these things, but the Lord is the one that's orchestrating and making it happen. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of these precepts. Got a list of them. Might not go through all of them, but we'll try to hit the ones that hit the point. I mean, all these are precepts for the lesson. This is Psalms 35:9, and it says, "Who sent tokens and wonders into the midst of thee?" And tokens is a sign. Okay, if you have a token, that's a sign of something to come. It's Awah, and it says a sign, signal, a disguising a mark, banner, remembrance. And what does it say? Things that are written for things written for aforetime are written for our learning. So we're learning that, look, the Lord deals with plagues. He deals with diseases. So the Lord is the one that's sending these things out here in the world today because he's declared war on Esau, man. Okay, and the things that he's done. It's time for him to pay for what he did by touching the Negro, Latino, Native American. Okay, and still doing it to the very day. He's not stopped. He's not quit. So he's gonna have to pay. This banner, remembrance, omen. So these are omens for us. That's why it says what? Plagues are a sign of our salvation. Okay, plagues are a sign of our salvation. So as you see these plagues coming up more and more, know that we're getting closer and closer to our deliverance. All right, miraculous sign, omen, warning, Token, ensign, standard, miracle, proof. So this is a warning also to the what? 2/3 of Israel and these other nations that look, time is coming to a head, man. Okay? So it says, who sent tokens, warnings, and wonders into the midst of thee, O Egypt, upon Pharaoh and upon all his servants. So just like he did back then in ancient Egypt, and what was the Egyptians doing? They were oppressing Israel. They were touching the apples of the Lord's eyes. So what did he do? He smote them with diseases, plagues, all types of atrocities took place. You had starvation. You had the sores, and it says, "Who smote great nations and slew mighty kings." And that's what the Lord is getting ready to do for us, man. And he's going to send his son back to do the final bidding of Yahweh, man, which is going to be to take this place totally out of power. Okay? And then, let me see here. This one's in the Apocrypha, so I'm just typing it out. It's the book of 2nd Ezra, 15 and verse 11. 2nd Ezra 15 and 11, and it says, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched forth arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before." So what is it talking about here? It's not talking about the ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt was already smited. So he's talking about the modern day Egypt, which is America. That's why they use the American dollar. They got a pyramid on there. They got an obelisk in Washington, D.C. There's obelisks all around the United States. They got pyramids in Memphis. All these different things to point to where what? That this land is in the spirit of ancient Egypt. It is in Egypt coming back in reincarnation, man. Okay, the same type of atmosphere that was in Egypt is here. Egyptians practiced surgery, all those different things. So they went into those types of practices, just like you see here today in America. Okay, so now he says, what? But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. And who's them? It's you Israelites, the elect first and foremost. Okay, the elect of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is he's going to bring forth. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before and will destroy all the land thereof. So he's going to destroy this land. He didn't, the land of Egypt was not destroyed. The land of Egypt was just plagued and brought down to none. You got people living in Egypt now. Okay, it's just a desert. That's all it is. But this place is going to be totally destroyed. It's going to be burnt, and then it's going to turn into a big, big desert. That's the plans, man. Okay, that's the future of what of a society, Slovakia, that practices the wickedness that this society has practiced, man. Okay, this is Exodus 12 and 23. And it says, "For the Lord will pass through and smite the Egyptians, and when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the two side posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyer to come into the house, unto your house, to smite you." So in the same point you see back then, the destroyer is who? Yahweh Shai, man. So he's gonna come back in these days and he's gonna smite this Egypt again. But what's the blood? The blood is having the what? The belief upon Yahweh Shai. That is the blood that you have to have on your doorpost, your spiritual doorpost, for the Lord to pass over, man. So he saw that you got these other guys that don't believe in Yahweh Shai. They don't worship him in truth. That's why it says, "Believe this on me," as the scriptures have said. Not how you believe and how you feel. It's already written. So if you don't have that on your doorpost, on the mind, your doorpost to your mind, then you're gonna be caught up out here, man. Point blank. That's what the scriptures are saying in a roundabout way. This is Exodus 3 and 20. "And I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders which I will do in the midst thereof. And after that he will let you go." So now that shows that what these plagues and the Lord smiting this society is a sign of us being let go and us being delivered out of our captivity. Because now the Lord is punishing the ones that touched us. It says, "And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, and it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty. So, because before we left out of ancient Egypt, we borrowed gold, silver, we borrowed precious stones. Okay, that's how we had the stones to put Aaron's breastplate together. Okay, so we had these stones and these materials with us, man. Earrings, different things, bonnets, chains, gold, silver, all these things we had in possession when we left out of there. That was like a compensation, man, because the Egyptians then didn't compensate us for our labor, building all their great works. So when we left out of there, the Most High had to say the lick, man. He had to spoil the Egyptians. This is 22. But every woman shall borrow of the neighbor and of her that sojourneth in her house jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, because clothes were worth money. And they say the Egyptian count, that's why they say you got Egyptian cotton, the thread count, man. So the thread count back then in ancient Egypt was way better than it is now, man. Okay, because they had different methods of putting the threads together. It says jewels of silver and of gold and the raiment, and ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians. So we left out of there not empty-handed, man. We had riches, okay. And then on top of that, we had what? The riches from and then the Lord brought the army out there and gave us the supplies for war. Pharaoh's army, the swords. So the swords we were using was Egyptian swords. Okay, that's where they also call them Hebrew swords too. Because when we established the land, we kept that same type of weapon craftsmanship. So this is why you see our swords the same way that you see what? The Egyptian swords. If you look at Goliath's sword, it looks the same way, because when we left out of Egypt, where did we have swords from? The army of Pharaoh that was drowned in the Red Sea. All their weaponry came up on shore. So we had their weapons. Now all we do is type in what? Now I'm going to type in to show you. Look, our swords similar to Egypt. All I typed in ancient warfare, Hebrew swords, man. And it's got that same little curve in it, because what initial weapons came from what? The Egyptians, because we were refurbished with weapons. They didn't send us out with weapons, because that would have been what? Why you need weapons to go serve your power? Okay, so we didn't leave out there with weapons. We left out of there with gold, silver, and different things like that. But we left out. The Lord brought the army of Pharaoh behind us to flood them out, and then turn around. Their weapons came up on shore, man. After they were flooded out, so we had weaponry to go into what? Jericho, and to do the wars that we had to do once we crossed the Gulf of Suez, man, or the Gulf of Suez. Okay. So I just wanted to bring that quick fact out. Let's go into let's get these next precepts. This is the book of Isaiah. So now we know that what? We spoiled the Egyptians, and the Most High set us up to be what? Taken out of there. Now he's going to set us up in this time to take us out again. This is Isaiah 11 and verse 11. And it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Asia and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the isles of the sea. And it says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. And that's what you're seeing taking place right now by way of the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man, that's being put upon us. Because it's not us that's waking up ourselves, it's the spirit of the Lord that's giving us the ability to wake up. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 39. It says, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no other God with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So that's what you're seeing now. The Most High is killing and wounding these people in these days by using these diseases, man. Okay, by putting these diseases on the planet Earth, and it's gonna come over here to America, just like Ebola came to America, man. Okay, this is Nehemiah 9:10. It says, and show this signs and wonders upon Pharaoh and on all his servants and on all the people of his land. But thou knowest that they dealt proudly against them, so didst thou get thee a name as it is this day. So the Lord's name was exalted after he jacked Egypt up. So what's going to be a difference today? Once he takes down Babylon and sets up his kingdom and sets up his people, the Lord's going to be exalted on the planet Earth. That's why in Isaiah they said they're going to come to us. They're going to come and inquire of the Lord. They're going to go to eat. They're going to go to the Israelites, the true Israelites, and inquire of the Most High, man. Because his name is going to be established on the planet Earth as what? Power that took out Babylon, man. Without lifting up a hand, just took it out by the angelic force that's coming with him. This is Jeremiah 32:20. And it says, which has set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, even unto this day, and in Israel, and among other men, and has made thee a name as at this day, and has brought forth thy people Israel out of the land of Egypt with signs and with wonders, and with a strong hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with great terror. So these diseases, just like you see here, what happened? These people were cordoned off, and they stayed in their house, and everybody stayed in their house because they were afraid of catching the damn plague, man. All right, so these things are going to take place the same, just like it did back then. It's going to take place now, okay? And this is all for our deliverance and our salvation out of this wicked ass place, man. Hey, shalom, shalom. Yeah, exactly. It looks like a sickle, man. You know, so these things right here are coming to pass. Everything is coming and being set in the right position. So these are chess moves. These are just more signs to show we're close to going home, man. So Lord willing, this is edifying, and to water for you brothers coming by, man, and listening. Lord willing, this edified, and hey, we getting shown, man. Yahweh Shem Yahshai showing that he's coming to take us from this wicked place. So with that, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh Shem Yahshai, Bashim Rakar Kodash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahshai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahshai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahshai for this truth, knowledge, wisdom, and the ability to do this lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. Shalom, Akim, keep faith, keep fighting. We're almost at that finish line. Shalom.